The rail unions and the New South Wales Government have reached a resolution which will see Sydney's New Year's Eve fireworks go ahead with limited industrial action on the rail network. All parties agreed to withdraw their applications to the Fair Work Commission, which heard any industrial action in place on New Year's Eve will not disrupt services and impede passengers' ability to travel to and from the city. Police had threatened to cancel the fireworks due to safety fears. Well, let's get more on this. Our reporter Ethan Ricks joins us now in the studio. Hi, Ethan. What do we know about this resolution?
Well, Gemma, the Fair Work Commission hearing started and basically adjourned as soon as it started. We heard there had been some good discussions taking place, promising discussions taking place, and that all came from yesterday because late yesterday the RTBU promised to get rid of some of their more crucial industrial actions that have really been impeding the rail network over the last few weeks. The main one was a limit on the distance that train crews could travel in a day. Because they dropped that now, they believe that train services can run normally and the additional train services that are in place in New Year's Eve can run as usual. That means public safety is no longer a concern. That means the effect on the economy is no longer a concern because the fireworks will take place as planned and people can feel comfortable going into the city as they should. We heard from Transport Minister Jo Haylen, who spoke about this today. She says it's a welcome decision. In the end, though, there's no deal when it comes to the pay dispute. This is what Jo Haylen had to say.
We have absolute confidence now that we can provide the travelling public with the services that they need and that they deserve. We want business to have confidence. We want staff to be able to get to work. We want people to be able to celebrate together, and that's what we are now able to confirm. We are able to say today that passengers will be able to use public transport services to get where they need to go this Christmas, New Year's and the Sydney Test as well. These are really important events for community. These are really important events for our economy, and I'm pleased that we have confidence today that they can go ahead in the way that we had planned.
So some much needed confidence for those looking to rein in the new year, especially businesses who joined in on this application to the Fair Work Commission. They've also withdrawn their application now that the unions have decided to drop a swathe of their industrial action. Not all industrial action, there'll still be limited industrial action, but they've also promised not to instate new bans that would affect services over New Year's.
So, Ethan, what can we expect to happen next then?
We heard from the rail union's representative, Toby Warnes, shortly after these applications were withdrawn, and he said they've been saying this for days now, that they've been willing to adjust their bans to make sure that this could all take place smoothly and that police didn't have any concerns in place. Now that this is all official and New Year's Eve will go ahead as planned, the union is looking back to what this whole dispute is about, their pay negotiations. They want a 32% pay increase over a 4-year period. They say that the government should come back to the negotiating table, and that could happen as quickly as Boxing Day. Now, we haven't heard from the state government on them coming back and talking about that pay negotiation. They've said only yesterday they're so far apart. The two parties are too far apart to reach a deal on pay. But again, now that there's been some sort of a resolution in what was a drastic call to potentially cancel such a big event, maybe now tensions have settled and they can come back to the negotiating table and meet somewhere in the middle, which I think a lot of commuters are really desperate for right now, Gemma.